Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another video. All right, y'all, just back with a real quick video here. I just want to give you my thoughts on MMAfighting.com and their recent update to the women's strawweight rankings, their women's strawweight rankings. I just wanted to drop this real quick video and give you my thoughts. First off, I have to say shout out to MMAfighting.com for acknowledging this, because this is something I've been talking about on my channel for a while now. And it all comes down to this, man. Like, whether you're number 2 or number 15, or number 12, whatever. If you haven't fought in 18 months, you got to go. As simple as that. I've used those exact words. If you're not doing anything in the rankings to hold down your spot, you got to go. You got to go. If you're not fighting anybody, you have to go. Especially if you're injury free, nothing's going on, and you just want to pick and choose who you fight, and it's taking you 18 months to decide on who to fight, and you still haven't fought anybody yet, you still don't have an opponent lined up, you got to go. As simple as that. And I think MMAfighting.com, they got tired of that. They were getting restless. They said, okay, Joanna is she's still number 2. How is she number 2? Carlos beat this person. Mackenzie Dern and Marina Rodriguez beat this person. They're lined up to fight. Zhang Weili and Rose, they're lined up to fight. What is Joanna doing? She's not doing anything, right? So she's got to go. So they thought that way, and they just took her out of the ranking. So I agree with that. I definitely say I have to agree with that, man, because it all just comes down to renewal status, which I'll talk about here in a minute. Because right now, I think a lot of people would say, okay, you take, it's something personal for you. I mean, like, no, like, I enjoy watching Joanna fight. Some people think that it's because I don't like a fighter. No, I just base it off of what you do. I base it off of accomplishments. It has nothing to do with being a fan of a fighter or disliking a fighter or thinking they're exciting or whether they're boring. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with accomplishments and what you're doing to hold down your spot for anybody, whether you are number 7 or number 2. It all comes down to what you're doing to secure your spot. Is Joanna fun to watch? Yeah, sure, she is. Is it fun to watch her train and talk trash sometimes? Yeah, it is. Has she done anything lately to prove that she's holding down number 2, that she deserves a title shot? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because like I said, you have to renew that status. I said this before, even in boxing, to hold down your spot, you have to renew it. It's just like with any job. If you're certified in whatever trade it is, you have to take a recertification at some point, to prove that you are still eligible to do what you do, to make sure that you still are knowledgeable in what you do. Let's put it that way, that you are fit for the job, just like Joanna. Like, okay, you've held the title for 5 title defenses, right? But that was 4 years ago. So now you have to prove something to us now. Nobody's saying that you have to start from the ground up like some other fighters. You do have some legs to stand on. You do have a foundation to stand on, right? So all you have to do is maybe fight one fight or maybe one fight or two to secure your spot and let us know who you are again. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Nobody's saying that you have to fight from the ground up again. That's why you are number 2. We just want to see you fight somebody around you and knock them back and make us say, okay, this is Joanna. This is Joanna again. She's the one that deserved the title shot. She is the number 2 fighter under Rose and Zhang Weili. That's all we want to see. We just want to see you renew that spot because fighters are around you. They're staying active. The fighters are around you. They're eventually going to catch up, whether it be Carla or Amanda Lemos, somebody from that low. If they're staying active and they fight their way up, they deserve to get around you. You just can't be number 2 at default forever because that's what it seems like. It just seems like everybody else is going to continue to get knocked back down because, oh, Joanna bought this spot. You know what I mean? No, these spots aren't bought. They're bought with your performance and your accomplishment on what you do. That's why I say you have to renew it. And it comes down to this. Look, okay, you're this experienced. Okay, maybe you can take a shortcut or two. Just take one fight and we'll be satisfied with that. And that's what I said before in the video. I said, okay, fight one time, Joanna. Fight one, fight twice. I like 2 fights, but fight one. Because she did an interview a while back and, they had asked her about who she would want to fight. And she continued to say title shot. Well, if that's not available, who else would there be to fight, right? Well, at the time, Mackenzie Dern and Marina Rodriguez were free, but that wasn't a fight that she was interested in. It was all about the title shot. Even before that, it was about the pandemic. The pandemic, there's no crowd. I can't fight without a crowd. Well, tough. Everybody else is fighting without a crowd. Everybody else is securing their spot and renewing their status, but it's like she doesn't want to do that, So nobody's saying you have to do a bunch of groundwork again. Just do enough to make us say you're still here and you're active, because that's the one thing, that's upsetting a lot of people in this game right now is these BS rankings. If this was my rankings, I'd seen you in there for 18 months not doing anything. It would never got to 18 months. If we got to 12, we would say, okay, Joanna, it's time to do something. You got to go. So you got to renew it by securing a fight. That's all it is. But going by MMAfighting.com, they went on and took her out. They went on and took her out because, hey, 18 months without fighting, hey, that's only fair, right? So yeah, man, that's what it is for Joanna right now. To me, it was just like, hey, take a fight. Just take a fight. They would have secured that number 2 spot for her, because right now the champ is tied up. So with the champ tied up for UFC 268 against Zhang Weili, that's just going to prolong any chances of her or of talking her way into a title shot. And if Rose beats Zhang Weili, do you think she's really going to want to fight an inactive Joanna? Inactive Joanna. Do you really think Rose is going to want to fight an inactive Joanna that she beat 2 times and that just sat there for 18 months? Not at all. That's why I said a while back, I did my video a couple months ago about my top 3 strawweight fights I wanted. It would have definitely secured Joanna's spot. It should have been Rose and Carla and Zhang Weili and Joanna run it back, and Mackenzie Dern and Marina Rodriguez fight, which that fight is happening. But see, if Joanna had fought Zhang Weili and then she could have canceled Zhang Weili out, that would have secured that, right? But now Rose is getting that fight. So when Rose beats her, Rose is probably going to look for Carla, or she's going to look for Mackenzie Dern, Marina Rodriguez winning next, right? Definitely ain't going to be looking at Joanna's way, because she's going on to end this year without a fight. Doesn't look like she's securing a fight now. So yeah, man, it all just comes down to renewal, man. That's all it is. Just got to think of it that way. Nobody can just say, I'm legit. I'm here. I've done this. I've done that. And I'm here. That's it. No. Especially when Joanna's resume is 2-4 in her last 6 fights, and all 4 losses were title shots. All 4 losses were title shots, and only 2 wins against contenders. So that's not enough to hold down the number 2 spot. Then take 18 months off. Not at all, man. Again, her legacy does stand for something. She did defend her title 5 times, and she is the longest reigning strawweight champion. So that stands for something. It does stand for something. But when you want to continue to stay in the game around these young lions that are still working, you still have to work. Again, you might not have to put in as much work, but we need to see you lifting something. You know what I mean? You need to be lifting something right now. Because, like I said, legacy, I said this earlier too, I was talking to somebody, like, legacy does stand for something. Like, the past does stand for something. What you've done does secure your spot in the Hall of Fame or whatever it is. It does secure you as one of the best fighters. But anytime you want to continue to, go beyond that, it still requires some work. Yeah, so yeah, you can get a shortcut here and there as long as we know that as long as everything else is in good standing. That's what it comes down to. So yeah, man, I'm glad that they took her out of their rankings. Let's see, we could look at it right here. They just upped everybody else from here. If you look at the top 10, they had Nina Asroff at number 10, Tisha Torres 9 now, Waterson 8, Gadelia 7, Jana at number 6, Marina McKenzie at 4 and 5, Carla's number 3 now, Zhang Weili number 2, and number 1 is Rose Namajunas. Of course, like I said, this is MMAfighting.com. Their strawweight rankings. This is a little bit different than UFC's, but hopefully UFC they take a little note from this ranking system, and they update theirs next Tuesday. Because they had just put theirs up, so maybe they'll update theirs next Tuesday and have Joanna up out of there. Like I said, ain't nothing personal, man. I mean, you just gotta continue to work. Just gotta continue to work in there, no matter who you are, especially if you want to still be labeled a UFC fighter, right, guys? So yeah, that's my thoughts on that, guys. Combo Breaker 99. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Agree or disagree. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.